Katie, Lena,
Hey,
Bill, what's up?
look at all
Joe.
those faces. Hi, guys.
Hey, Joe, I didn't get to thank you for the apples
Oh
and the
my
persimmons, but that was such a
gosh.
sweet gift.
Look at all these people. Hi, guys.
Yes, welcome.
This is so cool.
Isn't this so rad?
It's so rad.
I love it. All right, guys, so we're waiting for everyone to tune in. We have over 960 people
This
registered
is
for Thanksgiving in an hour, so it's
bananas.
kind of nutty. But I
I've
don't
never
know
cooked for this many people.
Yeah, it's a
I don't know
lot
what
of
I'm
people to
gonna
cook for. I don't know if it's the turkey that's the draw or if it's our new chef, Ashley.
Hi, guys.
But say
Hi.
hello to Ashley. She is
Hi.
awesome.
It's so cool to see your faces. This is amazing. It's like a big party.
Yes, it's
Hi.
awesome. It's awesome. So happy Thanksgiving week to everybody. This is the Super Bowl of cooking, I think, from now until Valentine's Day?
Yeah, we're in it.
We're in it.
We're in
We're in it deep, you guys. So we will be here for the next 3 months supporting you guys, obviously with our amazing partners, Scampan and Global, Moxie in the Kitchen. If you guys have not joined us for a Moxie in the Kitchen class, it's all about this idea. And Ashley, you're new to this. Walk into the kitchen with some Moxie. So what does Moxie
Yeah.
mean to you?
Oh, just like, you come in and you're ready and you have this kind of stance. That's
You got a
my
little
Moxie.
swag.
Yeah,
You got a
yeah.
little swagger. You know that your equipment's going to work out. You know that
Yeah,
your knives are
you're
going to cut
ready.
clean. You know
Yeah.
your pans are going to release.
Mhm.
So if you're not familiar with Scampan or Global, today we're going to get used to it. But again, today is about Thanksgiving in an hour. We wanted to put something together that we thought maybe people would think it was impossible. Not impossible.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Doable.
Dude, totally doable.
Doable. And I
Yeah.
think that people think, you guys tell me if I'm wrong, Thanksgiving needs to be a big production with a
Oh.
big old bird.
My mama took 7 days. I tell you
7
what.
days?
7 days. She would start, she would plan. It was crazy. It was delicious. but
If I was catering a wedding, it wouldn't take me 7 days.
7 days, mama would
That's
do it.
nuts. Well, again, we're going to wait for people to log on. Tell us where you're coming in from. I would love to see. We got Brooklyn in the house. Who else we got? We got Canada, Toronto, South Florida. A lot of hello, Chef Ashley's.
Hi, guys.
A lot of love for
That's
Ashley.
so nice. Aw.
She's awesome. We're going to ask her to give a little bio on herself, too, so you guys get to know her. If you are cooking along today, and I know a lot of people
Cool.
are going to hold off until probably the next couple of days as you get ready
Yeah.
for Thanksgiving, but if you are, please preheat your oven to 450. 450 degrees. I'm going to do some housekeeping, and then we're going to dive in real quick, but welcome to Homemade if you're new here. I'm Joel. I am the head chef and founder, and this is all about interactive cooking. So we're kind of in the kitchen together, even though we're not. No matter where you are, we
I
think
think
of
we're
this.
together.
We're
Look
together.
at that. They're
Yes.
right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
We feel like this is one big kitchen counter that we're all cooking around. So
Totally.
if we can see you, if you're willing to share your screen and show us your beautiful face, you can interact. You can raise your hand, unmute, and talk to us throughout, ask questions, or just, shoot the banter.
Yeah.
And then if not, if you're not comfortable with that, which is totally cool, we've got Heather, who's a chef with us. She's in the chat. So you guys can write in the chat any questions you have about the pans, the knives, the techniques, etc. But without further ado, we don't have time to waste.
Let's do it.
Before we cook, give them a little Chef Ashley
A little
101.
spiel. Guys, I've been a chef for 16 years. I started super young and just have floated around the world with my knives. So I've been to Chicago, New York. I cooked for artists in Rome, which was rad. I worked in Ireland. I've been in San Francisco. I worked for the famous Chez Panisse, and that really drives what I do and the passion that I have. And then I've been in Seattle for 7 years, and now I get to learn this new skill, hang out with my new buds, and yeah.
She's worked in Seattle. I know a lot of people don't know the Seattle restaurant scene, but some of the most amazing restaurants in
I
Seattle
think
as well.
so,
She's
yeah.
being extremely, she's holding it back, but Chez Panisse just scratches the surface. So
Oh, that's so
extremely
nice.
talented, incredible point of view on food, cooks seasonally driven, and we're really
Absolutely.
thrilled to have you here.
So happy to be here, guys.
Cool.
Let's do it.
Well, step one
Mm-hmm.
is there's no possible way, Ashley, and everyone out there, we're going to be able to roast a turkey in under an hour.
It's true.
So we had to choose the part of the turkey that we feel like offered the most. And
yeah.
we want to cook it beautifully where everyone feels like it's just delicious and still tastes like Thanksgiving and all the things you want. So we elected to go with turkey thighs.
Dark meat.
Dark meat has the right fat content, cooks up really quickly,
Yeah.
beautifully efficiently cost, like it's not
Yeah.
expensive.
It's very forgiving, too.
Very forgiving.
Yeah.
So if you forget about it, it's still going
No
to stay
problem.
juicy.
Fine.
No big deal. So step one to this, and I'm just going to show you guys real quick, is we want you to buy turkey like this. And your butcher can do this, or someone at the grocery store can do this, but they're literally going to knock off the thighs and the leg. And what Ashley's going to do is she's going to grab the Global boning knife. Now, you guys, if you're on this Zoom with us, you're extremely lucky because there's no joke. Today, the Black Friday deals on both Global and Scampan went live, meaning our typical deal that we give you guys as a part of Homemade is 20% off. These blow that away. So if you are in the mood or need a carving knife or a boning knife or any of the things you see, you need to head to Global or Scampan's website within the next week and take advantage of this because it's insane. So do you want us to show, Ashley, real quickly how to debone this puppy?
Yeah. So it's huge. Like, look at this thing.
It's dinosaur.
It's a dinosaur bird. So I think what we talked about is we're going to take the drumstick off
Yep.
and just like move it aside, and then I'll show you how to get up in there. And so you don't have to use a boning knife. This one's really flexible,
Yep.
which kind of gives you a little more finesse. But, you know, I've used paring knives. I've used chef's knives. Like, just go for it. You know, the sharpest knife you own is the best.
Yes.
So you can kind of see, let me see if we can look there. There is this line right here, and that kind of is like your little secret, like, hello, you can cut right here. But I like to do this, and then you can see this little notch, and that's where we're gonna kind of get in. So we're gonna start here and just try and get down there. So turkeys are a little wild because these bones are like gnarly. But if you had a chicken, it would be a lot easier for you. It would probably just slip right through. But I'm sure you can see this joint in here. So we're just gonna wiggle.
See, that's why I like the boning knife from Global. It's really light,
Yeah.
but see how Ashley's able to kind of get into the
just
joint?
use the tip.
Yeah, just use the tip of the knife.
And then I'm gonna just crunch it.
Yeah. And it almost takes no effort when you find
No
that joint.
effort, yeah. And so
There's
you
the-
can see that it's like clean too, right? So
Yep.
I didn't have to like gnaw at it, but if you have to gnaw at it, no problem, go for it, get it.
Yeah. Love it.
So now there's this little bone right here, and we want to extract it. And so we're just gonna like kind of trace it. You can kind of see this fat line right here.
Mm-hmm.
We're just gonna trace it.
So just cutting against it.
Yeah.
See, and guys, those turkey legs, that's like county fair stuff right there. I'll take a smoked turkey leg any day.
Oh yeah, dip it in some ranch.
We're not above it. Come
no,
on.
ranch is delicious.
I love it.
Can we get maybe
Yeah.
a close up in here? Because
Yeah.
it gets like crazy. So you can see that I'm starting to expose that bone.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to keep using the tip and really like dig it out. We're like archaeologists right now. And then you can like kind of get under it, you know?
Yeah.
And then we're just going to try and get it out of there.
Yeah. Again, you can do this with a chef knife. You can do this with a paring knife. Really hard. Way easier when you have a
Boning
good
knives
boning
are
knife.
great, yeah.
So if you don't
You're so
have
right.
this, again, go grab one. Look at that.
And also, I was always, when I first started cooking, I was so afraid of like not getting all the meat off. But we have plans for this in the future. So
Yes.
if you like have meat on there, whatever, it's good.
Yes, that's true. All right. I wanted you to do another one a little quicker. Show them
Yeah, understood.
how to crush one out. But while she's doing this, is there any questions about the type of turkey we decided to go with, the thigh? If you are a breast person, you can still do this recipe with the breast. It's just going to take a little bit longer in the pan. But what questions do you guys have? Feel free to raise your hand. All right. Looks like we got one. Jamie. Hey, Jamie.
Hello, Chef. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I haven't seen you for a while.
I know, guys. I had a little hip replacement surgery, so I'm back.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
How did it go? Sorry.
I mean, look at this. I'm jumping.
That's amazing.
I know.
That's so good.
I bought chicken thighs.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to do turkey.
Yeah.
Just because, you know.
'Cause it's
and
turkey.
I shouldn't do any duck on Thanksgiving. 'cause-
Woo!
Cool.
So,
Love.
I know. So, is there anything I need to do? Because they're deboned already. It's just the chicken thighs.
Yeah, nothing you need to do. Do you have the skin on or skin off?
Let me look. Skinless.
Skinless. Totally fine. Nothing you need to do. Nothing
Okay,
you to do.
great. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Good to see you.
Doing good.
Enjoy. Thank you.
And while that
at
pan's getting
those.
hot, I'm just like, anything that looks weird to me and whatever looks weird to you, you can just take it off.
Yeah, like little sinews, little pieces
Little
of fat.
sinews, maybe there's like a little blood pocket. Like, if
Yeah.
it doesn't look like something you're into, then just take it off.
That's
it's
a
fine.
good rule.
Yeah.
All right. Well, while Ashley's doing that, I have, no joke, one of my absolute favorite cooking vessels in the world. If you are in the actual market for a roaster, this is the classic 7.5 quart, so 7.5 quart roasting pan. Now, obviously, you can use this for a big bird. You could do this for like a beautiful leg of lamb. You could do
Roast
my God,
veggies?
roast veggies, anything. You could do a quiche. But we're actually going to use this a couple of different ways. We're going to use it as a griddle. And one of the beautiful
Yeah.
things about Scampan is, again, just like all their pans, you can use metal on it. It won't scratch. But watch the color it gets. So I've been getting mine heated up. If you don't have this, go ahead and get a non-stick pan on a medium-high heat. Get it warming on about a 7 out of 10. And I'm going to add just a little drizzle of olive oil. Ashley, you did an amazing job.
Oh, thanks.
These look incredible.
Enjoy.
Thank you. I get the easy job. And I'm going to just season these turkey thighs that are deboned on both sides. A little salt and pepper on both sides. And we're going to go skin side down into our Scampan roaster. All right, we got a question from Joe. Joe, talk to us. Nope. You there, Joe?
Where'd you go, Joe?
Where'd you go, Joe? All right, Giovanna, bring it.
Hi.
Hi, Giovanna. How are you?
I'm good. Not cooking tonight because this will definitely be part of my Thanksgiving dinner, but I am watching very, very closely.
Good, good.
And my question is, when we did chicken, you had spoken about free-range chickens.
Yeah.
Are there any specific brands that we should be looking for with the turkey?
With the turkey itself, you want to look for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's not a brand per se, but there's some keywords. First is organic. With that, just
Okay, that's
yeah,
what-
that's key because that just means the turkey eats organic, which means you're going to eat organic because you're eating whatever the turkey eats. So a lot of people pump them full of different pesticides, chemicals, non-natural food. So organic is like top number one, tied with free range. So if you can find organic and free range, you're crushing life.
And they'll taste better.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Ashley said they'll taste better. Totally agree. They're a little leaner. Yeah, a lot of the turkeys nowadays, they pump full of water, so you
yeah.
pay for it. But the organic free-range stuff is way leaner. It doesn't have the water, so it's a lot more flavorful.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot. Donna.
Yeah, thank you. So, guys, real quick, just so you guys can see, turkey thighs are frying away. I mean, they've been in here for like, I don't know, 30 seconds. There's already color happening on this thing, releasing beautifully. So again, you don't need to treat this roaster like a roasting pan. You can treat it like a griddle. You can make pancakes on here. You could do little stir fries. I love it. But we're going to kind of team up on this, and we're going to do a little paint job on this piece.
Yeah, paint it.
So take us through it, Ashley. What are we doing?
Well, we need to get some herbs chopped here.
Yeah. So we got some time.
We got some time, and I'm sure you guys are maybe like thinking you have to go pick. You don't. Just like a zipper. Just take your hand and zip it off.
It is like a zipper. And we have two kind of herbs in the world of cooking. You've got kind of woodsy herbs and then kind of softer herbs. Do you want to talk to people kind of through the difference?
Well, I mean, like your soft herbs to me, that means like cilantro, parsley, dill, things that are going to wilt really fast. And then you have your hardy herbs, your woodsy herbs, things that'll
Yes.
just seem like they last forever. So that's like rosemary, thyme, sage, I would kind of put
Sage,
in
I
there.
say, is woodsy.
Yeah.
My general rule is if you can't eat the stem, it's woodsy.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good rule.
It's a great.
Yeah, it works. It works.
It works. It works. Yeah.
So I've got about, what do we have? About a tablespoon of sage, a little
Yeah.
bit of thyme, and I'm just going to chop it up fine. Super simple. And literally, when I chop, guys, it's as simple as just hand down, knife underneath. And this is, everyone always asks me, what's my go-to chef knife? It's the G2. G2 by Global. Go check it out. You will love it. It's perfectly balanced. While I'm chopping this up, do you want to make the little mixture of honey and mustard?
Sure
What do
do.
we got there?
So this is stone ground mustard.
Yes.
You can use anything really. Where are we at? There we are. You can use anything. You can use Dijon. You can use whole grain mustard, which I really love. But stone ground is like right in between. You get the best of both worlds.
I like it. It has a little
Yeah.
texture.
Yeah. Oh boy.
right.
So you do the honey into there.
Yeah.
There we go. Look. There we go.
Beautiful, beautiful.
We're just gonna wazz it up. So this is honey mixed with mustard, also known as honey mustard.
Also known as like the best thing ever
The
on wings.
best thing ever. It's really good on like broccoli too.
It is?
Yeah, it is.
That actually would
Come
work.
on.
I'm into that. All right.
There we
So
go.
I would say these herbs came out to about a couple of tablespoons of both sage and thyme. If you don't have sage, you can go all thyme. If you don't have thyme, you can go all sage. So don't feel like you need this exact thing. So I'm just
Yeah.
going to go right in. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to this just to create a little bit of a something something. You cool with that?
Sounds great.
Yeah.
So great.
And then mix this puppy up. And we're going to hold this to the side. Now, the recipe calls for you to paint this on the bird while it's searing. I actually like to paint it right before the oven just to ensure it doesn't crisp up too much. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, with that honey in there, it's probably going to caramelize really beautifully
Yeah.
when we pop it in that hot oven.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's sound.
Yeah, I think it's a good call. All right, so
Yeah.
real quick, let's check our little birds. Still taking a little minute, but you can see they're getting there. This is what's beautiful about this pan. So we'll give them about another minute before we flip. While we're doing that, we're going to get started on the sweet potatoes. We're going to talk about the ingredients for this. So super quickly, we've got some beautiful organic sweet potatoes, about a half a cup of walnuts, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, some chili flake, a couple of cloves of garlic, some good old-fashioned water. All right, now I want to pause. And the idea is that we're going to make these like sticky mashed sweet potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
Again, guys, it's 4:17 here in Seattle, which means we've got about 40 minutes to bust this out. If you're sweating, don't sweat.
Don't sweat. We're not sweating.
We're crushing it.
We're crushing it.
We're crushing it. But we have
Yeah.
some questions. Nancy Nicholson, what you got?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so glad to see you back and welcome.
Oh, thank you.
I
Hi.
have a question for you. On the drumstick,
Yeah.
would you be able to debone a drumstick? I know how to do a thigh now, so I know how to get that right now. The killer, because I can understand how to get more meat. But if you did it debone a drumstick, would you go from the upper part where you disconnected it from the thigh and cut straight down and then cut close to the meat?
Want me to take this one?
Take it.
Yes, basically. I can hear. Let me grab it.
Oh, she's going to demo it. Yeah, I love it.
Hi. Okay, so you'll want to cut around this ankle, which will kind of show you where all the little bones are. It'll be like your kind of guiding force. And then you just cut into it and you connect the dots from this bone part to this bone part. And then you just do the same cutaway that I did for the thigh, but it will be for this guy. The only thing with this is you're going to have a lot more sinew in there. So it's not as graceful as the thigh where you take the bone out and you're done.
That's such a pretty word, graceful as the thigh. I
Yeah,
like that.
Thank you. So it's going to take a little more work to get those sinews out of there, and it will be tougher, but
I mean, think about it. The leg gets so much workout. There's so much
They're
muscle in there.
cruising, yeah.
They're cruising, right? So
Yeah.
it's a little bit harder to clean up, but totally you can debone it. And now, like you said, you did the thigh. You're ready to move on to the
yeah,
next
go
stage.
for it. Just get in there.
All right. So,
Do the spatchcock
oh,
like
Ooh.
for our turkey for Thanksgiving.
woo!
That's it. That's it.
I
Drumsticks off and
love
kind of
that.
salvage the dark meat. And that's why I was wondering if that was a way to get that off.
Oh, that's
That means a whole
delicious.
lot.
I love spatchcocking birds.
Yeah,
Love
it's
it.
the
That's
best way.
awesome.
On a grill, forget
Oh.
about it.
All right. So thank you, Nancy. For the sweet potatoes, guys, we like these peelers. These are called Y peelers. They keep your fingers out of the way. A lot of people don't know this little trick. So this might be your thing. And Ashley's worked in a lot of restaurants. I've worked in a lot of restaurants. But you sometimes wonder what this notch is right here. It's actually for digging out the eyes of potatoes. So when you peel, right, you see these little eyes. And if you don't want to eat them, you can just dig them out. And I used to have a chef I used to work with. Oh my gosh, Ashley. This
Tell me.
guy would destroy me if he saw eyes on my potatoes.
Yeah.
It was just like, the chefs that They worry about every little
Of
thing.
course, they're chefs.
They're
crazy.
chefs. And he would slap me on the back of the hand if he saw one potato eye. So now I still have PTSD.
Yeah.
And I see potato eyes and I have to get rid of them, but don't feel like you need to. That's just me.
And I just like peel them down too, which maybe is wasteful, but
No, peel them down.
Peel 'em down.
Exactly. But
because
you
I
just don't
have
want any
the
of that
same
bitterness.
PTSD.
You do?
I do, of
Yeah.
course.
See, when you grow up in restaurants, this is what happens. So we're shaving these guys nice and thin. We're going to do something really cool with all of these. You guys know me. I love saving my scraps. We're going to save these scraps, and Ashley's going to walk us through kind of some stock 101. We're not going to have time to make stock today, but we're going to talk about some best practices
it.
while we're waiting for some things to cook in the oven. So save your potato scraps. Can we just talk about these eyes for a sec? Look at my eyes on this one.
It's a
That's
lot.
like Halloween
lot.
over there, dude.
Yeah,
What's
that's
going
a lot.
on? Oh my gosh.
Mine's,
All right.
Mine's good.
Yours is very good. So, guys, I want to remind you again, we are doing this all, and it's all possible because of the 7.5 quart roasting pan. You guys need to check it out. If you do not have your roasting pan yet, this is your moment. You will get it in time for Thanksgiving. Go to ScanPan's website. We'll put all the links right there in the chat. You are not going to want to miss this opportunity. So we're throwing all of our scraps
Into the stock pot.
into the stock pot. We'll get to that in a sec. And I'm just going to have to cut around these eyes because they're too deep. They're too deep. All right. So at this point, real quick, we're going to flash back to our turkey. Quick flippy. These look great. I just want you guys to see what these look like. Look at the color. Go find me a nonstick pan. Go find me a nonstick roaster that gets you that color. It's not going to happen. And then what I'm going to do is I just flipped it. I'm searing it on the other side just quickly. And I'm going to take this off onto a plate. I'm going to leave the pan on a high heat. So you guys can do this too. Once it's brown on both sides a little bit. Now I'm going to take our sage, honey, and mustard paint and just kind of hit it up. And I just want you guys to kind of see what this looks like because it looks stunning. Look at that.
That looks so good.
Doesn't that look good? And it smells all the familiar smells that you want out of Thanksgiving. You don't feel like because you're doing this in under an hour that you're giving up any of that nostalgia.
And that method is my favorite for deboned chicken thighs. You can even put a weight on it and it'll get even crispier.
That's a smart idea. So again, you guys can see, I'll just turn this to the side. These are raw in the middle. Looks like ahi tuna, totally raw. Okay, they're just gonna finish through in a sec. We're just putting them to the side. Cool, and now we're gonna get cracking on our sweet potato. So any questions on the turkey? Joe, talk to us. We can start cutting.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah, hey Joe.
Yeah. No, it was just this the first year I tried a turducken, and I boned a turkey, a duck, and a chicken.
Joe.
And boy, was that a lot of work.
Oh
And
my
I found that
gosh.
I ran out of skin. I couldn't roll it up tight enough to. My wife was helping me and
love
things
him.
were bulging out one side. Do you have any good suggestions?
For a turducken? Oh my god, I've never made a turducken. Have you ever done it?
I honestly have no recommendations.
Okay, I have one. So,
It's fun.
well, I've never made one, but I can tell you, there's something you can buy. Maybe you've ever heard of it. It's called caul fat, Caul fat, and it's actually kind of the inside stomach lining of usually lamb. But you can take that and wrap it like skin around anything, around a filet mignon, around anything, and it totally melts away and adds such a. It's like what we make sausages out of, freeform. So if you want some extra skin without going and finding the extra skin, look for caul fat. Go to a butcher shop.
Oh, they'll
They'll
have
know
it.
exactly what you're looking for.
That's such a great idea.
Thank
Well,
you.
Thank you very much, because I covered it with bacon.
Yeah, try caul fat. It will be better for you. I love it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I'm excited to hear how it turns out. So you guys, what Ashley and I are doing is we're just cutting bite-size sweet potatoes. Any technique here specifically that you like, Ashley, or nothing really?
No, I mean, you're just making squares.
Just making squares, guys. And Ashley likes to kind of cut hers in rounds and then squares. I take mine and cut them in kind of lobes. As long as you've got a nice
Yeah.
balanced knife like we have
Yeah.
with our beautiful globals, you're in good shape. This is the thing, though. You can't walk into a kitchen with Moxie. You can't have that confidence if you don't have the tools and all the goodies that you love.
Absolutely. Sharp knife.
Sharp knife.
You'll go miles with a sharp knife.
I'm too busy talking. You need to help me cut a little bit more. Take a couple of my.
All right,
Take
get
a
over here.
couple of
Come
me.
on, come on.
Thank you, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So while we're chunking these up, I'm gonna just prepare you guys. While this is in the oven, Ashley and I were talking about. We want to hear about your favorite and kind of go-to holiday traditions as it relates to Thanksgiving. I love hearing about that stuff.
Yeah, of course.
It always gets me jazzed and kind of inspired. Even just hearing about that turducken is just like amazing to me.
wild.
So start thinking about what you want to share if you're willing to share, but we'd love to hear that. So we've got our beautiful, unbelievable roasting pan. And just so you guys can see, there's still turkey fat in the bottom of this, which we want to take advantage of. This is called fond, F-O-N-D, like I'm fond of you. And then Ashley, you want to take us through these spuds?
Yeah, of course. All right. So I can tell that it's like pretty hot here. Feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just going to throw them in.
Throw them in. Super easy. And if you don't like sweet potatoes, just go with Yukon Golds. Peel
Yeah.
them, don't peel them. Totally your call.
Yeah, anything. Carrots would be great with this.
Oh, yeah. Carrots would be great if you're trying to watch the carbs. You can cut it in half
All
with
right,
carrots or
let's go with
parsnips.
this. Here we go.
That's the move.
This is the move.
Look
We
at
don't
all
have
those.
time for that.
Look at this bed. You season
right.
now, or what do you do?
I think let's let them work while
Yeah.
we get this going here. I'm going to just extract the garlic. So, I'm being a little brutal here. Telling this garlic who's boss with my moxie.
So 2 cloves of garlic.
2 cloves of garlic. I'm just going to get the paper off.
Yeah.
And, I've worked in restaurants where they're like, put it in water, peel it with a paring knife. But, come on. Let's just get in there and smash it, forget about it.
Smash it, get the paper off.
Yeah.
What is your feeling? I have a visceral feeling about pre-chopped garlic like that you buy in a jar.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. But what's your feeling on pre-peeled garlic? Just curious. And
Have
no, I'm judging you. Just know I'm judging you.
I've used it, guys. I've used it.
I've
used it. If you have like this wild recipe for like 200 people and it calls for like 70 heads of garlic, I'm not
Totally.
gonna peel that. Come on.
Totally.
Labor costs, man. Labor costs.
Come on.
All right. So we have this chopped up. I just did a little slice on it, but you could go to town and just get it super fine. Maybe we'll
Chop it up a little
run
bit
a
more.
little bit more.
Yeah.
I like a big piece of garlic, but maybe grandma doesn't.
Doesn't want to bite into that.
She might not.
And then we love the addition, you guys, of a little chili flake, a little heat to this. So we're adding about a teaspoon of chili flakes into these sweet potatoes as well.
Here we go with
So
this.
garlic, sweet potatoes. There's this, my dear.
Mhm. Thank you so much.
So you're just starting to kind of toast that garlic, get it going.
Yeah. Can we crank this baby?
Oh, it's cranked.
Oh, it's cranked. Okay, we're cranking.
Yeah, we're cranking.
I'm just impatient, I guess.
It's going to do most of the job in the oven.
Yeah.
And
So-
we're not really looking for color, right, Ashley?
Yeah, totally. We just want to, I like to like smell the garlic
Yeah.
and know that like things are moving and grooving so they're not just floating in that liquid.
Mm-hmm.
I think now's the time to salt.
So how do you know how much salt to add to these?
It's a really good question. I do a couple pinches and it's going to reduce down in the oven. So if you were to add too much salt, it'll be too salty for you. So you can always add more later.
Yeah. So just start with a little bit, just kind
Start
of
a little.
hits it a little bit. And then this is where it gets a little cray-cray. Grab some water. We're grabbing about half a cup of water and almost deglazing the pan. Right? So at this point, we've got water, we've got potatoes, and then Ashley, do you want to nestle our little birds back in?
Yeah, I think it's time to get those in.
Pull this over to you. Show a better view for everybody at home.
Yeah, I'm going to steal those tongs.
All right, Michael, talk to us.
Well, a couple of things in a row. First of all, health is always preeminent. So, Joel, I didn't realize you had the surgery, but I'm so glad to hear you did.
Oh,
On point.
thank you, Michael.
Second, Ashley, you are great. You have
Oh.
a wonderful year, and that's much
Thanks,
appreciated.
Michael.
Also, Joel, the people who stood in your stead all did wonderfully. So
Oh,
I need to add that as well. But now that I've finished, you know what? I will say I have heard that if you want to render fat from
Yeah.
the skin of a chicken
Pop it in.
thigh, or in this case a turkey thigh,
Yeah.
it's best to start the pan on no heat
Mm.
and then gradually add it. I would love your comments on that.
Yeah, the no heat to heat, it makes sense because it slowly starts to bring out the fat. which then allows for the bird to kind of do its thing. If you add a little bit of fat beforehand, like I did, you don't need to do that. So the idea is by rendering it slowly, you get a little bit of fat happening, and that way you don't need to add any more to the pan, which we could have done.
Yeah.
In fact, we should have done, to be honest. It doesn't really matter. But we expedited it by adding a little extra fat. So it
Yeah.
just depends if you want to wait or not. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. It would be double time if you were starting colds.
Yeah, it just takes a while. It's like
Yeah.
bacon, right? Like you
Yeah.
could add a little bit of olive oil into a pan when you're rendering some bacon, and it starts to kind of get the crispy thing going. If you don't, you have to start on low and then start to kind of crank it up. Otherwise, it gets way too charred and the middle doesn't stay crispy. So it's just a matter if you want to add a little extra fat or not. It's a great question, though, Mike.
Thank you.
And Michael, while you were asking that question, I just popped everything in the oven. So it's in there now.
Yes.
Our birds, our sweet potatoes, cooking away. 450.
450 for about 20 or so minutes. So we're going to do two things. We're going to show you guys a Brussels sprout recipe that you could absolutely, by the way, if you had the roaster free, do in the roaster.
Yeah.
We're doing it. This is my everyday pan. This is the Scam pan. Like, this is my gorgeous, beautiful. You can boil pasta, make soups, braises. It comes with a lid. This is one of my go-to pans. We're going to pull up the actual link so you guys can see. Works on induction. Obsessed with this. It's the CTX 5 1/4 quart covered chef pan. We love this pan. So I'm going to start getting this on a high heat. And then, Miss Ashley, how are we handling these Brussels sprouts? Because I know most people hate Brussels sprouts.
Which is crazy because they're so good.
They are good.
I actually just went to Vegas for a wedding with my nice looking boyfriend.
Okay.
And we went to Momofuku.
Ooh.
Guess what they did to their Brussels sprouts, y'all? They deep fried them.
Oh, they just fried them like
They
French fries?
deep fried them. And I think what's so great about that is that you just want them to roast. You want them to be delicious and bring out that sweetness and go through that caramelization and Maillard reaction. And so we're just going to fry them up in some oil to start. And you could add onions, you could add garlic, but we're just going to go for it and get them as brown and crispy as we have time for, I think.
Yeah, and the reality is like the reason why you hate Brussels sprouts, if you hate Brussels sprouts, is because they're not crispy. Because the outsides were probably steamed,
Yeah.
or boiled
Yeah,
That was
for
the
way
old
too
school?
long.
for way too long. So no need to blanch these, nothing like that. This
Yeah.
is a quick fish sauce, 3-ingredient Brussels sprout
Yeah.
that will just melt your brain.
And just get color on them. That's
Yeah.
the secret.
So let's start chopping these up.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest kind of, misconceived notion is that you need to take the total bottom off. If you see a really woodsy bottom, you can shave it. But for the most part, you just cut them in half as long as there's no big brown parts. Now, you can see on this one, it's kind of wonky looking, kind of bruised. So that's one where I take out the outer leaves. But for the most part, you can just cut them in half. Cool. And Brussels sprouts, by the way, you guys, you can shave them on a mandolin or with a knife really, really thin and wilt them down super quickly. And it's nice. It's almost like a coleslaw when you shave them like that. I mean, you have to remember, Brussels sprouts are just baby little cabbages. And usually when you see the baby version of something, it's a sweeter, kind of, more easily eating raw version of something.
Yeah, totally. And also, I feel like when you roast these, they have kind of a popcorn quality to them, like a popcorn sweetness.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've never thought about that. Yeah, Brussels sprouts were not on the menu for me growing up. And then once I became a chef and learned how to make them really good, the family literally won't have it anyway. By the way, I'm thinking, do we want to quarter these? Or
I think we should quarter
We should
them.
quarter them. Okay, we're quartering them. So we're going to cut them all in half now that we've cut them in half. So literally each Brussels sprout should give you 4 pieces. Keep the core attached. And the reason why we're quartering them, and we made that game time decision, they'll cook a little faster, considering we're trying to make Thanksgiving in an hour. But they also are a little easier to eat, don't you think?
Yeah, and I would also say maybe a little more surface area for that
Oh.
caramelization, right?
See, a lot of people don't think about that in cooking. I'm just going to hold this up so people can see. But when she talks about surface area, Ashley brings up a great point. You can get color right here, and that's a lot of crisp. Or you cut it in half, and you get color here, and just a little bit not over here. And so point being is you're going to get more caramelization and more spots for that crispy bits. It's a good call, Ashley.
Thank you.
All right, so I think as we add a little olive oil to the pan here and some Brussels sprouts, I want to hear some holiday traditions. What do you guys make at home? What's the go-to? Tell Ashley and I, we're dying to hear. Yeah, you can raise your hand. You can throw it in the chat. I'm adding about a couple of tablespoons of olive oil in with the Brussels. Let's do it. All right, Jamie.
Okay, so I found this recipe for cranberries years and years ago that is a cranberry green apple deliciousness with cinnamon, the actual cinnamon sticks, and it has orange peel
What?
or orange dust, and you use white grape juice to cook it down. So it's all
cool.
these different flavors mixing together, and it's really good, and I make way too much of it because we like to eat it all after Thanksgiving.
So this is a cranberry sauce?
Yeah, it's cranberries, like the fresh cranberries.
Yeah. Just cooked down with apple. Mm.
Cooked down with apple, and you don't have to peel the apple. White grape juice, cinnamon sticks that you take out, of course, and then orange zest.
You know, in the Midwest, we call that
Sugar. Sorry, brown sugar.
we call it a fruit salad. In
You
the
call that a
Midwest.
fruit salad?
In the Midwest, yeah.
What? A cranberry cooked down into it? Is it salad?
Anything is a salad in the Midwest,
That's like a vegetable or fruit.
or meat.
Because you're originally from Michigan area?
I'm from Michigan, yeah.
Okay,
It's all salad.
I love it. All right, who else? Thanks for sharing, Jamie. What do we got? Crab stuffing. I love that.
Oh, that's
Collard greens with yams.
sounds so good.
By the way, I know a lot of people know this, but I'm going to ask you guys trivia. Is a yam a sweet potato? Don't answer, Ashley. Is a yam a sweet potato? Write it in the chat. Lena says yes. Okay, Katie says no. I see even yeses and nos.
That's a tricky question.
It's a tricky question. They look identical. Do you want to answer or do you want me to take it?
I don't know if I know. I think they're very different species, aren't they?
Completely different.
Yeah.
They're totally different. Yam is a little bit more starchy. They're much bigger. Sweet potatoes are what we know of as sweet potatoes here in the States. But they're totally interchangeable. And that's
Yeah.
why people think that. So something to think
Funny.
about.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that in years.
Learn something new every day, peeps. All right, so Brussels sprouts are in. They're on a pretty high heat. We're on about an 8 out of 10. They're just starting to get some color. We didn't add anything to this pan yet, right?
Oh, that's looking so good though.
Looking good
You
already.
want to see that brown?
You want to see that brown? I always say this, okay? Notice like Ashley, super calm, chilling. I'm over here like fidgeting. This is
Yeah.
guys fidget
Don't
with
fidget,
the food.
man.
Am I wrong? You cooked with a
No,
lot
no,
of dudes.
no. You are absolutely right,
We-
and you just
we
believe
mess.
it.
You believe it. You just
Come
gotta
on
believe
now.
it. Okay, that's why they invented wood spoons. You just walk away. Walk away. That's what's going to give you the char. So while these are charring up, we thought it'd be cool to take you guys through kind of like a
Yeah.
101 on the
Let's
stock.
talk stock, because I'm sure at some point, whether you're doing chicken or turkey, and maybe not even for Thanksgiving, but just in your future life, you're probably going to have some bits left over, and I hate to throw the bits out. So when it comes to meat, I want to save everything that I possibly can, especially like these bones that we've extracted today. Like there's meat on there. We can roast them up and just get them ready for the stock pot. And besides meat, if you don't eat meat, it could be a vegetarian stock, but you're still thinking in this scrap mind a little bit, where, you know, we've been saving our sweet potato peels. I've been throwing like little Brussels leaves in here, even some of the bits of the garlic I put in there.
Ooh, that's good. The paper?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the ends,
strain it
you
out.
know,
Yeah.
we're gonna strain it. But then some of the other ingredients that will go into a meat stock or into a veggie stock, you just want like some body. So to me, that means celery. Celery has a natural MSG in it, which means it's just gonna taste super
Really?
great. It does.
Okay, did
It's
not know
wild,
this.
yeah.
Did not know this.
It's kind of meaty next time you eat some.
Okay.
And then onions obviously are going to give you lots of flavor as well. I always save my shiitake stems. Most recipes, like I'm just slicing it, but save the stems. You know, if you have some like herbs that may have
Yes.
gone a little over time
are
in your
sad-looking
fridge,
parsley.
like mine sometimes do,
Yep.
then just chuck it in. It's great. It'll give you the flavor still. It doesn't have to be perfect, and always thyme leaf. And then if you want it to be super rich, you can also roast everything. You can roast your bones until they look like our Brussels sprouts. You can roast all of the veggies and just fill it up with water, just to the level of all your ingredients, and then let it go for anywhere between a veggie stock's ready in an hour, and a chicken stock can go overnight or like 6 hours.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think, and this is another thing. I mean, again, I'm going to keep calling it out until I'm blue in the face, but this is a stock pot by Scampan. Nothing sticks to it. You know how much of a pain in the butt when you have stainless steel giant stock
Yeah.
pans. They, first of all,
Yeah.
impossible to scrub. They always blemish. They
Yeah.
warp. So you don't want to do any of that. And I just want to just show them real quick. How would you load this up? So like onion wise, I would literally just take this onion
Yeah.
and cut it in half. Like do not
Yeah.
peel it.
Yeah.
Peel everything in.
Yeah.
How would you just scrunch that in there?
I mean, you can scrunch it. I like, you know.
Okay, you're okay.
I have like a little, you know, you just maybe like, you know, one.
Okay.
And then these can go in.
Yes.
Sometimes I'll take this bit off because it can get a little bitter, you know, not great, but the stems are perfect.
Stems. Okay. Cool.
And then in you go.
And then turkey in.
Yeah.
Ploppy.
So that all just like, yeah, literally, you're just going to plop it in there.
Yeah. And then the big deal is, guys, you want to just fill it with water right above the level of the turkey and the ingredients. Don't put it so high above or it's going to water down your stock. So it's right above it. Bring it to the
Yeah.
boil. So you want to see like hot tub bubbles, really vigorous.
Yeah.
Then turn it down to low and literally go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
You think go to sleep? I'm a go to sleep guy.
It depends on how much stock you're making
That's
know,
good. That's
and
true.
how long you plan on sleeping.
We are huge on like I put this on the lowest setting. I go to bed, wake up the next morning, and I'm like,
Yeah, and your house smells amazing.
it's Thanksgiving. It's a
Yeah.
hug. It's literally a hug, a
All
holiday
the windows
hug.
are steamy.
Yeah, the windows
It's really
are steamy.
lovely, yeah.
It's
You're right.
awesome.
You're right.
All right, so she's come on.
Yeah,
she's
go to
come on
sleep.
board.
Go to sleep.
All right. So while we've been chatting it up, you guys, our Brussels sprouts have really starting to take on some char. What are you thinking?
I think it looks great.
So still no salt, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I think you can add it whenever. I like to add it a little bit later because it's going to draw out the moisture,
Yeah.
which will impede on the char a little bit.
Totally.
But, you know, you can add it whenever. It's
Yeah,
fine.
and I mean you can, and we are going to add fish sauce to this, which is funky.
Yeah.
I want to talk about fish sauce.
Yeah,
But
totally.
I want you guys to see that we added a little bit of olive oil to this. Olive oil is gone. So this is why we
Mm-hmm.
love Scampan. It's because you don't really need oil to cook on.
Yeah.
But look at the color. Look at the crazy color. I mean, we were just talking about Scampan. You said you've been working with Scampan since when?
I first was introduced to them in 2008.
2008.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
the reality is that why chefs love it is because this is the number one reason. It's not because it's easy to clean. It's not because it goes into the oven up to 500 degrees. All those things are great. It's because it gets char. And no nonstick pan does
Yeah.
it like Scampan.
It's like a cast iron kind of.
It's
but
like a cast iron.
nonstick. Yeah.
Totally, but nonstick. And that's the difference maker.
Yeah.
All right, so these are caramelizing up. Real quick, give us the spiel on fish sauce. What's the deal here?
Oh, it's funky. Oh, you
It's
guys.
gym sauce.
Oh, it smells terrible. But I promise you, it tastes like 17,000 times better than it smells. So like,
It
just
does.
don't go in for a huge whiff. But it's so good. It's so good. I mean, talk about MSG. Like that's
Yes.
like, you know, when you go to South Korea or you go to Japan, like all their food is just packed with MSG because they use kombu, they use fish sauce, they use
Yes.
all these things that are just so good. So anyways, it's basically just fish that sits and ferments.
And doesn't that sound appetizing?
But it's so good.
Can
It's
I tell you a
so
quick
good.
story about, and we are not sponsored by this brand, but this is a great brand of fish
It is,
sauce
yeah.
called Red Boat. And I have to tell you guys a story. This is on a island in Vietnam called Phu Quoc.
Huh.
And we went to Vietnam for our wedding. What's it called? Honeymoon. Okay, it's coming back to me. And I go to Angelina, my wife, I said, we got to go to this island. And she's like, oh, it looks beautiful. Secretly, I'm like, we're visiting the Red Boat
Oh
Factory.
my gosh.
And she's like, oh, what a beautiful island. I booked this beautiful resort. We got a motorbike. We're on this island. There's monkeys in the trees. The beach is great. She's sitting on the beach, and I'm like, hey, I have an idea. Crazy idea. Excursion. What do you think about a little excursion? She said, great. we ended up at the Red Boat Fish Sauce Factory. And you know what's so romantic? Going to a fish sauce
I was
factory
gonna say,
on your
what
honeymoon.
did it smell like?
She almost divorced me right there and then. I mean, it was literally, I took her to a socks.
It's got to be
I
rough.
mean, it was the most disgusting
gotta be rough.
factory smell. It was really fun, and it was really
Yeah.
interesting for me.
Right.
Let's just say I took her to a nice dinner that night. I
Yeah.
had to pay up. She was not down.
But it's so good.
Yeah,
Like,
it is really good. So
don't be deterred by the smell.
no, don't be deterred by the smell. So at this point, I mean, we're getting this beautiful char. I think it's time to deglaze.
Yeah.
I always taste one and
I'd
just
be
see,
happy.
like, are you happy with like where it is?
Yeah. You can also see how bright green they've gotten.
Mm.
That is like an indicator that they're close to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really good. So you want to add the fish sauce?
Let's do it.
We're going with a couple tablespoons.
Those things. I love fish sauce, so I'm going for it.
Yeah, you are. Beautiful. And you just literally stir it up. It's going to steam. It's going to smell funky. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, what did Ashley and Joel tell me to do?
It's so good.
I regret homemade. I'll never go back. And then you're going to taste it and be like, I'm here for life,
No.
baby. I'm here for life.
yeah.
All right. While these are cooking for a little bit longer, a couple more minutes, any questions? Because we're about to take the turkey out and show you how to finish up the potatoes as well. Sherry!
It's not really a question. It's a welcome back, Joel. Nice
Ah! I feel like this is a welcome back party.
yeah.
I love
And I agree with Ashley because I start at least 7 days ahead for Thanksgiving, and I only cook for 5. So,
Ah,
yeah.
I love it.
We eat all day and a lot.
Good.
It's kind of part of the tradition for some people.
yeah.
It's like,
go
just get
for
it going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Joel knows he grew up in a Jewish family, how much we eat it.
Amen,
And then
sweetheart.
mothers always overcook.
Oh,
Never know worth the size.
I overcook. She passed that down to me. I always make too much food, but we have lots of leftovers, so that's the good place. Oh, good to see you, Sherry.
Take me through the holidays.
Yeah. Well, happy holidays, my dear. Thank you.
Aw.
What else, guys? Angie says bacon fat for browning those Brussels sprouts. Amen. We love you, Angie. Yeah. So, great question in the chat. Substitutes for fish sauce for vegans, for people who maybe really don't want the funk. All cool. I'll start. Soy sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Totally fine. It's
Yeah.
not the same funk, but it works. Do you have
Yeah.
any other options?
Yeah. Actually, I was kind of anticipating this question,
Yeah.
and they make a vegan fish sauce.
They do?
Yeah,
Out
I
of
am-
what? Do you know?
I imagine it's probably like
Mushrooms?
mushrooms
Yeah.
and kombu. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's made out
kombu.
of.
Kombu,
Cool.
for those who guys don't know, is seaweed.
Yeah.
So it probably gives you that kind of oceany flavor.
Yeah.
I would say also coconut aminos
Yeah.
would be okay. They give you a little bit of that salty vibe. And then I would also say, I know this is weird, Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Worcestershire sauce
Yeah.
would work.
Or
Yeah.
vinegar. Any sort of vinegar
yeah.
will give you the same.
Yeah, a little pop.
Pop.
A little pop.
Yeah.
All right. So at this point, should we try these and just see if they're where
yes.
we want them?
Yes, we should try them.
I mean, they're great. I'm with you. I think they need a touch of salt. You kind of call. You don't think so? You think they're there? You think they're there?
The one I had was there.
All right, we're done. Killing it.
No. I mean, salty.
All right, we're gonna go with this. One of those. That's it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Oh,
All right.
we need to add some black pepper, though,
Oh, please. Yes.
because this black pepper is my favorite of all time.
Really? Why?
It's so good. Because it adds just like that background spice that you
Yeah.
don't really know like what it is. It's just super savory. And I think for a dish this simple, you just want one more element. Whether it's like the black pepper or
I love that.
cilantro.
So it really is 3 ingredients. I mean,
Yeah,
and
I think
honestly,
so.
when you start toasting black pepper, you're right. It starts to get floral
Yeah.
and like
So
really
good.
fruity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. All right. So these Brussels sprouts are caramelized and good. Shall we check
I think it's
the
time.
main course?
Yeah,
Here, you want to
hopefully
take this?
it's- hopefully it's
Pull
okay.
that puppy out.
This is like always the part. You check the turkey.
Check
Oh,
the
no.
turkey. So we're going to take a look at ours. We're looking for 2 things. We're looking for the turkey to be cooked, obviously, but we're also looking for tender potatoes so we can mash them. And I think we're in really good shape. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, they steam in looking. Oh, they smell incredible.
Smells so great.
Look at that. All right, so the way you check the potatoes couldn't be easier. Just cut them through, and you can see these are nice and tender.
Yeah.
And then I can just tell by looking at it that these turkeys are cooked, but you can press it, make sure the juices are running clear. Any other
Yep.
way that you tell that these turkeys are where you want them to be?
I'm a big fan of a thermometer.
You are?
I am.
I don't think we have one.
Well, I mean, like, you know,
In general.
I just think it's a great way to know what's happening. But yeah, I mean, I always turn it over and just give it the poke.
Yeah.
And also on a turkey thigh, there's like different muscle parts. So you can just separate it and peek in there, and
Yeah.
it's definitely fully cooked.
It's beautiful. All right,
Yeah.
so I'm going to take these puppies out. I'm just going to grab a little fork. Be really careful not to rip the skin. You did a really good job of getting it nice and crispy. So I'm literally going to let these rest on a board. So much easier to handle than a freaking giant bird.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then,
So good.
you want to take out some aggression? Or you want me? You had to
Come
deal
on,
with the
come
ferry
on.
today. You
Yeah.
had to deal with the ferry today.
Yeah, I'm new.
She lives on an
you know.
island here in Seattle, and the ferries had some time. So she's literally just going to start mashing. And again,
Oh, so good.
you can really understand the value of a giant pan like this, right?
Yeah,
Because look
this
how
is great.
Ashley can just get anywhere. When you're in a pot making mashed potatoes,
Yeah.
you guys know, you've been there.
Gotta
It's
get in
all on
there.
the wrist. But when it's shallow like this,
Yeah.
in this beautiful roaster, it makes the job so easy.
Yeah, totally.
All right, so we're going to taste, but while you mash, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of maple syrup.
Yes, please.
Always grade A. You agree with that?
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Otherwise, sometimes there's corn syrup and maple syrup.
Oh, yeah.
No bueno.
You know, when I was living in upstate New York, there were sugar shacks everywhere,
Yeah?
and they would just reduce down the maple syrup, and it was so fun. You could drive around and just like pop into someone's shed and like get
What?
fresh
Would you
maple
smell
syrup.
it in the air?
You could see them burning.
Oh my God, that's so cool. I
Yeah.
love that.
It's really cool. Okay, here I go.
All right, beautiful. Mixing it all up. And then this is, if you guys remember, we added a little salt to this in the beginning, but Ashley kind of mentioned you can always add more later, which I think
Yeah.
is a great call. So let's give it a try, shall we?
I also feel like our timing was really great, but if these potatoes are not cooked and tender, you just pop them back in the oven.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
I think our timing was great.
Yeah.
They're
Those
so
are really good. Those are really good. I don't think they need much salt.
No, I think it's delicious.
Honestly, I think they're beautiful. And they're mashed up. They're stunning. You get a little bit of that chili flake we added.
Yeah.
And the color, I mean, let's just take a look for a second. We've got our turkey right here. Got our beautiful Scampan roaster with all of our sweet potatoes. And then we'll plate one up so you guys can see. We still have a couple of nuts to add, but I just want you guys to see we're still not at the hour point. And look at the color.
Oh, we have 8 minutes to spare.
Well, we're not there yet. We got to carve
right.
the turkey.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
I love it. All right, so here's how I'd plate it up. Actually, I'm curious. I mean, listen.
No, come on.
Okay, I'll take it.
Let's see
So,
what you do.
this is how I would do it. Totally your guys' call, but first and foremost, I'm big on the sides. So I'm going to start with a little bit of this mash, and I'm just going to hit it right here. And I like a divot, just a little divot, nothing cray. And I do a little bit of olive oil. You can do a little pat of butter if you want. And then
Okay.
we have some walnuts. You can do hazelnuts. You could do another little swig of maple if you want, just so it gets caught in that pool. But that looks beautiful. Then, Brussels. I'm not going to mess too much with this plating, guys. I'm not going to make it fancy.
No.
This is Thanksgiving 101, but Brussels on the side here. And I'm going to go to a side view so you guys can really see what's going on here.
Look at all these juices. That's good stuff.
This is what I'm saying. Thanksgiving, I think we make it way too hard on ourselves, personally. And it can be something as simple as this when you have the right tools. Like you have beautiful sharp knives. You've got that roaster. It makes it really simple. So just these two sides alone look stunning
Yeah.
on the plate. Beautiful bright orange, that kind of evergreen. And then you grab a beautiful piece of this turkey. And again, a nice sharp knife. You just cut long, nice strokes. Look at that.
Yeah.
That
Wow.
is beautifully cooked.
It looks
I don't
really
think that
great.
could get
It
cooked
couldn't
any
get
perfect.
better. Yeah.
So again, and like Ashley said, if you open this up and see that the turkey needs another minute, you can always put it back
Put
in.
it back in.
This does not. This looks stunning. I'm going to move this
Yeah.
one so you guys can really see. Juices again are running clear, which is a fantastic sign.
And you can just pour those juices right on those sweet potatoes too. Don't
Yeah, you can.
don't get rid of your juices.
Do not get rid of your juices. All right, one more slice. Because I think Ashley and I will be sharing this. And then taking this and just kind of arranging it however you want on that plate. But this, to me, you guys, represents Thanksgiving Now we can kind of say we've done it. Let's just take a look at this.
Yeah.
Looks pretty stunning.
It looks great.
All right, so what time is it? 4:55.
Come on.
Now, I want to say something real quick. There's two chefs here, and you might be thinking, you got two chefs. You got 4 hands. You guys, this was made for
Yeah.
2 hands.
Yeah.
You can do this.
That's what the other 5 minutes are for.
So the other 5 minutes are for.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we need to try it.
Yep.
While we're trying it, I'd love for some questions. Get you guys a little knife for me, knife for you.
Thank you. This looks so
What questions do we
good.
got out there about how to make this? Michael, you've got your hand raised. What can we do for you, buddy?
Oh.
Well, I apologize for, I'm not trying to, be too obnoxious and show off, but one of the things that I found that I just hint if someone wants to take it is, sometimes, especially in a turkey or a very large chicken, even great poultry shears are hard to spatchcock. We talked
Yeah.
about that earlier.
Yeah.
And you can go to Amazon and under the HVAC, high velocity air conditioning and heating, get a pair of tin shears and they cut the back.
I didn't know that.
like butter.
Really?
And it's like $15. I mean, just a great, easy way of doing it, especially for people who might have problems with, arthritis or whatever.
Oh, I love that. I
Yeah.
love that, Michael. And you're never a bother. We love hearing from you, and we all learn
Well,
from
thank
you.
Yeah.
The other thing is, and maybe Ashley can help us, I've seen some questions on maple syrup. And there's a whole thing where they've just changed the grading on maple syrup.
Really? Do you know this?
Because
I don't know.
originally, originally, grade A
Yeah.
was too fine.
Interesting.
B, all this kind of stuff. So I was just curious.
Ah.
From your shaking on the head, but
Yeah.
most people want the darker, not fine maple syrup to give the real flavor.
Yeah, that's a good call. I'm going to look into that. That's interesting. I didn't know that. But
Yeah.
I think the big thing when buying maple syrup is just to look on the back of the bottle. I know this seems really elementary, but you'll be surprised 95% of them have corn syrup in
Yeah.
them. So
Pure
just look for
maple.
ones that look pure maple, no
Yeah.
corn syrup, and you'll be good to go. But
Great recommendation. Thank you.
yeah, thank you, Mike. And I have to say, as Mike was talking, we were both eating.
It's so
balanced.
good. It's
It's
great.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's a hug. It's
Yeah.
comfort.
And this would make incredible leftovers too.
Yes.
Like I would want to put that on a sandwich or
Yes.
something like that.
It's absolutely delicious. Oh yeah. So I want to call it a couple things. Number one, our next Scam Pan class, because I know a lot of people are loving Moxie in the kitchen. We've actually been doing this for almost 6 months now. So our next one is actually coming up on December. I'm just going to show another view here because it's so beautiful. December 2nd, we're doing sweet and savory crepes. Unbelievable. Tuesday, December 2nd. Sign up today if you have not signed up. If you are in the mood for leftovers, because Ashley just mentioned it, we're going to make the ultimate Thanksgiving sandwich this Friday.
Oh.
Unbelievable. We're doing a gravy mayo on top of brioche. You guys,
That's crazy.
just call it a day. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But we also know that out of all the classes we teach, we get so many questions and want to dive so deep into Scam Pan and into Global because knives and pans are really what drives us in the kitchen. So we always like to take a beat after this class and go to their website. So we're going to go to their website right now. You guys can just hang tight. We're going to show you guys what we're talking about when we talk about some of our favorite things. But because this is a really special time of year, this is literally Black Friday week for Scam Pan and Global. You can go to their website. You can see right here, and you'll see these little badges that say holiday deal. I don't know how to express to you guys. We have an amazing deal with Scam Pan where we give you 20% off every Moxie class. This is well above that. I mean, even the roaster that we just cooked with normally is $249. Now it's $99.
Yeah.
That's insanity.
It's a great pan.
So this thing's going to end. You need to get on it. You need to go to their website. They're clustering different pans and different knives with things you've never seen before. Like they'll throw in like a sharpener with a knife just because. So this is their time to be giving back, thankful for their customers. This is your time to be loading up your kitchen and really stocking up so you can walk into the kitchen with tons of confidence,
Yeah.
tons of moxie.
Yeah.
But you can see all the stuff we love. You see my covered chef pan that I'm obsessed with. That's the Abelskieber pan.
Oh,
you know
fun.
those?
Yeah,
Those are
of
so
course.
fun. And
hard.
again, I mean, if you're not familiar with this brand, it's from Denmark. It's family owned. We love them. Everyone is hand foraged. Unbelievable quality. Dishwasher safe. Goes in the oven up to 500 degrees. So you cannot find a better pan. So this is the time. Knock it out of the park. And of course, ask us any questions you have. But I want to take a brief second and just, I'm kind of blown away.
Oh, cool.
Ashley, this is
Yeah.
Ashley's first class ever. And so she did an amazing job. You can already see the experience she's going to be bringing to our team and the point of view you're going to be having. So
Yeah.
we're thrilled for so many more classes. She'll be designing a lot of classes coming up, so you'll get to really taste her food and her
Delicious.
recipes. Where can they find out more about you real quick?
Oh,
What's your
gosh.
Instagram handle?
Yeah, my Instagram. So I have a company called Windward Adventures, and I do outdoor and backcountry dining. So Windward Adventures is on Instagram, Facebook, website, and then my personal is I don't know.
Go to Windward Adventures.
Yeah, go there. That's a good place to start.
And if you're ever in
Yeah.
Seattle, you can book an outdoor adventure with her. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
She
of
teaches
course.
you how
I'll
to
cook for you. Come
smoke
over.
salmon over beautiful open fire.
Yeah.
If you know who Frances Mullman is, she's like that, but more badass, which is
Yeah,
cool.
of course I am. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We did it. Thanksgiving in an hour. Thanks to Moxie in the Kitchen, Scampan, and Global. Thanks to you guys. I'll be back in the kitchen tomorrow. We have an amazing recipe with holiday sides.
Oh, look at that food.
Ooh, and I'm
You
looking
guys
at
did
Lena
it.
Tucker.
You guys look
Joe
great.
W. Yes.
Cool.
I love it. All right. And make sure to tag at Scampan on Instagram. Take pictures of your Thanksgiving, whether you make this or not.
Yeah.
We'll
Show
catch you in the
us.
kitchen next time, you guys. Take care.